Bum-ba-da-dum! Welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host here on the website that teaches you how to play banjo and mandolin. This week is Guitar Week. We're going to learn all about triplet guitar fills. This stuff works great for that old country material that you love to play and sing to, and that other people love it to play and sing to as well. Now we're going to learn how to use it. We're not going to use it as much as I did in the lesson preview. That was just to demonstrate it. But we need to have it at our fingertips so we can throw it in and really spice up a lot of the slower rhythm, work with some of the timing. So we're going to have some exercises where I'll teach you how to play them, and then I'll also demonstrate everything that we did in the lesson preview. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can come over to the website here in a moment at BanjoBenClark.com. Join as a GoPick member, have hundreds of lessons. If you're watching here on the website, just scroll down beneath this video and you'll see the rest of the video segments, as well as the tabs and the MP3 jam track. Let's get started. So we're going to use these triplet licks to get in between our chords, and we're going to combine them with regular eighth notes and walks and really be able to use them to our advantage. And that's what I want to teach you how to do today. But the first thing we got to do is get our fingers and our brains around what is a triplet lick. And a triplet is simply three notes placed in the space of where two of those notes would normally go. So they're going to be a little faster than their straight counterparts. So if you have one beat and you have eighth notes, normally two eighth notes would go into one beat, right? One and, one and. But if you have eighth note triplets, we're going to squeeze three into that one and. So it'll be triplet, triplet. Let's go ahead and throw up the tab here and you can see what it looks like on tab. And we can also practice playing them. The other little curve that we're going to throw in there is that we're going to be adding a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. So we're going to work that into our exercises as well. But look there in measure one. We're going to start out on the fifth string, that A string. Now I want you to play with the downstroke. Then I want you to hammer on to the second fret. And then I want you to play with an upstroke, the open fourth string. So just one triplet looks and sounds like this. So if we do a whole measure of that, measure one, it would sound like this. Ready, go. Triplet, 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 triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we need to also know how to do that on various strings. So let's move it up, measure two. Let's start it on the D string, because we'll need to be able to do it up there. Up. That makes me, as I miss that hammer-on, that reminds me to tell you, we've got to be accurate with our fret hand hammer-ons and pull-offs. Be sure to press down with authority so that we get that good note sound. This is such a great exercise. Drop down to the sixth string, practice it down there. So as we speed that up, it'll sound like this, measures 1 and 2. It's important that we get those pick stroke directions correct. So down, up, down, up. Now, can we do the same thing except use pull-offs instead of our hammer-ons? I bet that you can. Let's start there in measure 3. Looks and sounds like this. Now you can pull off going down toward the floor, or you can push off going up toward the ceiling. Doesn't really matter. On these, I like to pull off. Measure 4, move it up to the 4th string. And then let's try it down on the very bottom. So measures 3 and 4 together. Let's try the whole line. I know these are just exercises. We'll get into the good stuff here in a moment, but I have to teach you how to do it first. Ready, go. Now let's transition to pull-offs. Cool. Now we need to be able to go back and forth between pull-offs and hammer-ons. So let's look at an example of that, of a combination with hammers. Or actually, you know what? Let's keep our hammers going first and just practice switching strings a little quicker. Measure 5, start at the bottom and work our way up. Looks like this. Then land on that G note down there. Use your ring finger if you want. You can land with your middle finger if you want, but that gets us in the habit of doing some things that we're going to do here in a moment. Now let's do the same thing using pull-offs in measure 6. Good, so now that we have that down, hopefully you do, you might want to try it with your index and your middle finger. Can we put them together? And can we change directions, going up the strings and down the strings? I bet you can. Let's look at some examples in measure 7. We're going to start off with a hammer-on, and then go immediately into a pull-off, and then land on that G note. Now let's try it from the top coming down. We'll start off with the hammer-on the 4th string, measure 8, then a pull-off, then land. That sounds pretty good. Measures 7 and 8 together a little quicker sound like this. Now that's starting to sound kind of like a lick, right? So now that we have the mechanics down, and you do, if you practice along with me, of course you'll have to pause the video and practice if you haven't done these before. But now that you have the mechanics down, we can begin to combine some other elements, particularly our rhythm, and see how these work into those. Let's check out what it looks like whenever you add the rhythm. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, come over to the site right now. Join me for the rest of this lesson. You can download the tabs and the MP3s. If you're watching on the site, just scroll down, click on the next video segment.